strangers walked into a bar, and they walked out with their own radio show.
I've never been with a man before.
Looks like I'm the boss now.
He's Derek.
The world is your oyster. Just shit on it.
She's Romaine.
I've got a handful of shit.
It's Derek and Romaine.
2.0, bitches.
Well, these shenanigans go on and on and on. Tis the season for shenanigans here on Derek and Romaine. It is October. Today's guest is singer-songwriter Tom Goss.
And how I love him. He's the best.
He is pretty great. And we're going to chat with him about his fall plans coming up. But we thought we would kick things off first talking about our own fall plans this year and probably every year. Because I feel like we both are the kind of people who are like, okay, now it's October. I'm doing exactly the same thing I always do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's kind of true. I don't hate the fall.
You seem to be struggling with your microphone a little bit. Why does it keep bouncing into your face trying to hit you?
Because it hates me.
I guess.
I like the fall.
Me too.
And I like it for a few big reasons. It's the perfect time of year because it's not too cold yet. It's crisp and cool. So you don't have to have like the air conditioner running in your house, drying you out every night. And because it really doesn't work on my
sinuses. What are you, like one of those dolls they used to make out of an apple?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I like that the air conditioner's off, but it's not cold enough yet that you actually like have to heat the house. It's just the right amount of cool for me. Like, I like the fall for that.
Well, you are such a cool person already. I can't even imagine what the right amount of cool is for you.
But I also love the fall because it means fire pit season. It's the perfect time of year in the evening to light up a giant fire pit in your fire pit and go sit outside and drink some beers and gossip with your friends. Although this year I've had fire pit all year.
I know.
Because we were doing it all summer with the big ag burns that we were doing at the farm. But I love a fire pit. I love, cooking up a toasty marshmallow on the fire pit, but just more or less hanging out, having beers with my friends at the fire pit. Like, I love that activity. So the fall to me means I'm sitting by the fire pit and I'm enjoying the friends and my company with my friends and drinking a beer and just hanging out. And I love that. The fall also I hate.
No.
Because the fall means you got to get all the shit in your yard cleaned up before winter. And it's usually sometimes it's a short fall, sometimes it's a long fall. You never really know what you're going to get. But the one thing it does mean where I live is a motherfucking shit ton load of fucking leaves. I mean, we've cut down a lot of trees in the last few years. So I'm always like, oh, it's going to be less leaves this year. It never is. In fact, I feel like the leaves multiply and have little leaf babies. And it doesn't matter how big or how powerful our leaf blowers are. We are outnumbered by the leaves. It sucks. We will go outside and spend 8 hours and not even pick up half of the leaves. And then you turn around and they're all back on the ground again.
Why aren't you just mulching them back into the lawn with a mower?
We do that too.
Apparently not enough if you're out there with your leaf blower and whatever.
We live in the forest.
You know what? Let the leaves fall where they may in the forest. It's better for the environment. What about the little insects?
It'll kill your lawn.
The lawn in the forest?
Well, behind the house in the forest, it's fine. I don't care about that. I'm talking about my massive front lawn.
I mulch my leaves into my lawn every year.
Me
it has
too.
Never killed my lawn one time.
You don't have nearly as many leaves as we do. Well, I guarantee it.
I guess. I have a lot of leaves in the back. Plus, I have a tree that drops nuts on the ground.
Oh, that's horrible.
And that is much worse for the lawn because you can't mulch up a nut and then the nut, it's taking up space there. And I know many of our listeners are like, oh, it's so sad when the nut's on the ground. Agreed. But, it can really wreck your lawn and sex life.
Yeah, it can. I don't so the yard work in the fall makes me homicidal.
Yard.
Because I fucking hate it. I really hate it. But
it's part of being a homeowner. It's part of being an adult.
Yeah,
all the things you hate.
But I do like the fire pit.
Right.
That's my favorite part with
Well,
beers and the friends.
Should definitely clear the leaves around there so you don't start some kind of wildfire.
I like the way my neighbors decorate their houses in the fall. Like
Okay.
our neighbors do really cute decorations. Not us because we're lazy. Well, sometimes Iris will, but not me. Fuck that. I don't want to do decorations when it's cold outside. So I don't, but Iris will. But I do like the neighborhood decorations because they're so cute. And I don't even know why, because it's not like there's a bunch of kids that live in my neighborhood. But like the homos have already decorated their house for Halloween.
Yes, they have. They're gay.
Yeah, I know.
And it's October.
And it's super cute. And I love it. But like the neighborhood gets really festive in the fall. So I like that. But you know what my favorite thing about the fall is?
Derek Hartley's birthday?
No.
Huh.
My favorite thing about the fall is I switch my Starbucks order. And I know you're thinking, oh, you go to the pumpkin spice latte? No. First of all, no pumpkin spice lattes before October 1st. That is a rule.
Why are you so hostile to other people's
Because it
life
makes me
choices?
furious. I'm like, don't drink that shit before October 1st.
Let
It's
people
not fall.
enjoy what they want.
This early, late August, early September PSL business. No. But what I love is a hot chai latte. Oh, it feels like fall. It tastes like fall. And when the weather just starts to get a little chilly, I want something a little warm instead of my summer frappuccino. And so I move on over to the chai tea latte. And oh, there's something so soothing and comforting about that drink. It really, really puts me in the fall spirit.
Well, obviously, that's what all of America cares about is Romaine in the fall spirit?
Absolutely, that matters.
As opposed to, is Romaine a fall risk?
Dare you speak the truth like
With
that?
that hot drink in her hand, flying everywhere.
I am potentially a fall risk. This is, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out.
Well,
I'm so good about myself.
so October, my birthday is at the end of the month.
Yeah.
3 days before Halloween. I was almost named Jack O'Lantern.
No, you weren't. That is a myth that we have already debunked.
No, I'm telling you, it's
No,
true.
your mom called in
I know
and
she
told
did.
you you're a liar.
I know what she said. I know what she said then, and I know what she's saying now. And
You're a liar.
no,
You made this story
I
up.
did not make this up. Why would I make that up? She may have been joking, but she said it.
You made it up.
No. Jack O'Lantern Hartley over here. Anyway.
That was
and
never going to be your
by the
name.
way, it was because I was such a fat baby. You know, my mother recently posted a baby picture of me when she had recently come back from the hospital having my sister. And I was about 1.5 years old. And the fattest person in that picture is not the woman who just had a baby. It's the fat baby on her lap.
You were a little bit of a chunky monkey, but you were adorable.
I know. I look like my mother in the face in that picture, and then I look like my biological father in the ass also
and your
in that
mom
picture.
looks beautiful for just having a baby.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Skinny and all. I'm like, dang, girl.
I know. She
Look at
really held
you.
it together.
Yeah. She really did. Good for her. That's what I say.
Anyway, it's my birthday this month, but I love Halloween. This is a fun holiday.
Yeah, I love Halloween too.
Because I like decorating. I'm not normally a decorating gay, but I do like Halloween. I like the spookiness of it. It's fun. And then I like the throwing candy out the door at randos.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not normally like I love when there are a lot of kids around. Like, for instance, when I'm on the train commuting and they're screaming and jumping up and down in seats. I'm not a gigantic child fan around here.
Sure.
But Halloween is fun. Because the kids are running around, they are wearing a costume, and they're getting free shit.
Yeah.
They're so excited most of the time to be there. The parents are excited. Parents, especially when the kids are like 4, like they're really like the first Halloween where they can really like get out and you're not pushing them in a stroller. And where the parent can sort of stand like at the edge of the property while the kid goes up to the door alone. And you see the kids there, they're like tears in their eyes, and they're holding each other. Like, it's so exciting.
So exciting.
The whole thing.
I love everything about it.
Yeah, it's super fun. I love the whole thing. And
I love Halloween.
and the tradition of like, you know, we're neighbors, we're good neighbors, and we're doing this lovely tradition every year. It's fun. I'm into the whole thing.
I know. Like, we started taking off Halloween on the as a show, like as an official show holiday.
Which I insisted.
When Romy was really little. And now that Romy's big and no longer trick or treats, Derek's like, we're still taking Halloween off,
Well,
right?
it's because I wanted it for me.
Yeah.
Because I like the thing, once I moved into the suburbs, I was like, this is what I want.
And I
like
love
the
it
whole
too,
thing.
so I'm all for it.
Yeah. So anyway, I do enjoy that part and decorating for Halloween. And I will say, for people who are looking for Halloween decorating tips this year, the hot thing that I got last year was I got these solar-powered flame lanterns that look like live flame. And I have to say, the solar-powered LED they've gotten is like really top-notch.
Yeah.
These days, they really do look like a flame. Because I might have put one earlier in my greenhouse in the backyard, and then Chef Brian thought the greenhouse was on fire.
Oh, Jesus.
Like he just saw it out of the corner. He's like, "Oh my God, there's a fire in the backyard!" Like that's how realistic it is.
Yeah.
So, but I hang them. You know, the leaves have come off the tree in the front yard,
I bet
so
they
I
look
hang
super
them.
spooky on that
Looks
tree.
spooky in my like craggy old crabapple tree.
Oh yeah, I dig that.
Yeah, it looks great. So this year
That's
I
cool.
ordered more of them so that I could have even more lanterns in the tree. It looks lovely. And it's like low key. You put it up and then it's easy to put up and easy to take down.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I used to do the cobwebs, the cotton cobweb things you do.
Oh, they're such a pain in the ass to take down.
It's a fucking BS.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you put it in the bushes and then the leaves fall all over it. And then it's just like leaves are caught in it. And then you try to pull it up and there's like sticky brambles in it and whatever else. And you get caught up in it. And then you're twirling around and you look like fucking dirty cotton candy. And it's not pretty.
Agreed.
So anyway, so I'm not doing that anymore. And then I used to do the like styrofoam tombstones, but the wind just wreaks havoc on them. They break apart and then they blow away, and it's not good for the environment. So I've decided these lanterns is the way to go.
No, that's a cool
Makes
idea.
the outside look creepy. It looks like a flame lamp. It's lovely.
Yeah, that's cool.
And and then that's that. The end.
Oh, I like that. That sounds really fun.
I know. And by the way, they're super cheap. I got them on Amazon. Super cheap. Set of 4, $40. Boom.
Bing, bang, boom. Done.
Yeah. And
Nice.
I put them up and all my neighbors were like, "Ooh, where'd you get those?" Like all the neighbors loved it. I'm like, "Great. Now they're all going to copy my shit." Like when I painted my garage and then all the neighbors started painting their garage like I painted mine. I'm like, "Girl, I did this so we could be unique. Stop stealing my act."
No, girl, you know that's what they do. That's what the neighbors do.
Well, I think they look to the gays for tips.
For inspiration.
Yeah, and I try to be as uninspirational as possible because
I know, girl.
I'm lazy and I don't need them stealing my act.
Understood.
Well, speaking of acts, we have singer-songwriter Tom Goss coming up next as part of our fall tradition of updating our podcast here on Derek and Romaine.
DNR 2.0.
Well, it is a holiday season here, and with the holidays coming up, you might be looking around for a great gift idea for people in your life.
Oh, yeah, like corporate gifts or for clients, like if you're a real estate agent or something like that. Like
Or a big family gift.
Or a big family gift. Yeah, I always have people ask me at the holiday time about this kind of stuff because we do our DNR holiday crates every year. And the listeners are always like, "Hey, where did you get that really cool hat made or that shade bell? Like, how did you find that and have that customized for you?" Well, I'm going to share a secret with you. And I don't usually share my secrets, but this is one worth sharing. So I have a guy. And his name is Guy. And he works for a company called Free Agent Print. It's freeagentprint.com. And he does everything for me. I say to him, I'm like, "Guy, can you make me, I don't know, a journal with this cool kind of imprint on it?" And he'll be like, "Oh, yeah, let me look at that." And then he goes off and he searches and he finds exactly the right item. He tells me what it is. And then we work together to create exactly what I want because he's all about being hands-on, there to help you, quality service, and it's the best. Like I get the coolest stuff made through my guy.
And Guy does great stuff, not just for us, for our various crates and other items that we do for our cruises and that kind of thing, but he works with big companies as well, but also individuals, people who want to do something fun for their extended family for the holidays or something. If you have a community organization, a local amateur sports league, that kind of thing, it is a great place to go, even if you don't know exactly what you want, because he can help you pick just the right right customizable gift item for your group size and budget.
Yeah, he specializes in all print work, especially in promotional swag stuff. And what is great about them is they'll provide mock-ups of the items before you even order it, so you can see exactly what it's going to look like, and it'll be exactly what you want. I mean, I love Guy, and I trust him with all of our products, and I know that you guys could trust him too. So when you're ready to create uniquely branded items like we do, you could just head on over to freeagentprint.com, and you can click on that contact button that's right there, and you can make our guy your guy. That's freeagentprint.com, or you can give them a call at 862-668-9391.
DNR 2.0.
Studio. Tom Goss, you know him, of course, as a singer, a songwriter, and he hosts the podcast Perfect Date with new episodes on Mondays. And if you are a DNR Plus subscriber, you can find his podcast in our DNR Cast app and at dnrstudios.com. And you can find Tom Goss all over the place. He's got some upcoming tour dates. He's going to be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on October 15th and Hollywood, California on November 4th.
And he's going to be in Scotland on October 9th, Derek.
Yeah,
I just
I'll be
found
at
out.
the Bear Scott's, homosexual bear weekend.
Oh.
I didn't realize Scotland had like a bear hunt, but I guess it is. The
There's
hunt is
bears
on.
everywhere.
I'll bet. TomGossMusic.com is his website. And of course, he is Tom Goss Music on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And right here, Tom, nice to have you joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And you're here in New York City. We're obviously recording this in advance because by the time this airs, you'll actually be like on your way to Scotland. So
Yeah. So if you're on the East Coast, sorry, you missed my East Coast tour. But if you're in Scotland, congratulations, you can come see me.
So you have been touring a lot this summer and heading into the fall. How's that been? I mean, it's, after 2 years of not getting to go anywhere.
Let me tell you. First of all, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's exhausting. I forgot how tiring touring was. It was my life for so long. And then I just hung out at home for 2 years. And now I'm back on the road and I love it. I love seeing people that I haven't seen in so long and playing music, which is amazing. And you just forget, you just forget, not to be rude, but you forget some people exist. And then you meet them again, you see them again, you're like, oh shit, I really love this person. And then you get to have that, the ignition of that relationship again, that friendship again, that laughter again. And that's really wonderful. But every single night you're doing it and then you're tired. I'm not 25 anymore.
Well, that's the thing. We also are looking at early in our radio show, which is about to celebrate its 20th anniversary.
Congratulations.
It's already a sophomore in college. It's been a long run. Anyway, we did a lot of Pride events, as you have done too.
Yeah.
And it is somewhat grueling to travel around the country and set up, and you're out in a park in the hot sun, and you're there all day and everything. And it's very gratifying, but we used to do that 15 years ago, and we're talking about doing more of that. Not as many as we used to do, but we've got a show and a business to promote, so we have talked about doing more of that. And I think that we're going to be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, for sure. But I also think you also are wise, right? You know what you need for your own self-care, and you could be really really stringent about that, and that's okay. That's what I have to tell myself, because whatever you do, you're going to disappoint people. You're going to disappoint your fans. You're going to disappoint your friends. You're going to disappoint your family.
And yourself.
Well, that's going to happen no matter what
Obviously,
you do.
no matter what.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyways, that's what I try to do. I try to keep my energy up.
But that's important, and performing live is a big part of you, like what you do.
Yeah, 100%. It's my favorite part. Yeah, I'm really good at it.
I'm not surprised that you're really good at it. But you haven't been touring alone. You've been touring with people.
Yeah, so I just finished a tour that was called the Triple Trouble Tour with a musician by the name of DeRoche and Ryan Casada, who's a trans artist who's fantastic. And that was really fun. We were up and down the West Coast, and then we played in Long Island. And then that tour just ended, and now it's just me and DeRoche, which is Double Trouble. And we're having a lot of fun. We're playing on all of each other's songs, so it's definitely giving you more of a cohesive. I'm so fucking sick of this artist goes, then this artist goes, then this artist goes. And it's like
Right.
the people here for the first act don't pay attention to the second or the third act, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I really wanted to create something that was a lot more cohesive, where everybody's supporting everybody, creating a fuller sound for everybody's songs, and then at the same time, like, creating community. So that's really what this is.
Now I have seen some videos of you and DeRoche performing together, and I have to say, the joy is infectious.
Oh yeah. I have to say, like, so Liz is her name, is she's my best friend.
Yeah.
I feel so grateful to be able to play with her. And if somebody said to you, like, you can only play with one person for the rest of your life, I would say 100% Liz. Like, I wouldn't even think about it. And she's been in my band for 10 years now too, primarily as my drummer. She's fucking badass, and she is hot.
She's so hot.
She's so
I'm not even gonna pretend that she's not.
Oh my God.
Because she is so hot.
Yeah, she's so fucking hot. And it's just like, and every time I see her, she gets hotter. We'll just be like, having breakfast, and I'll just be like, God, you're hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just feel really, really, we're like, part of me wishes I was attracted to her, because then we could have babies, we could have a family, but it just that's not working out in that way. And she's, not attracted to me either.
Right.
So
Well, that's humbling.
It's
isn't it?
not going to work. It's not going to work for anybody. But it's like we're the same person sometimes. I think we're think very similarly. We just have so much fun. So yeah, DeRoche is amazing, and she's been really like background for me a lot, and background for a lot of bands as a drummer, a keyboardist, a vocalist. And this is the first time she's really ventured out making her own music and having her own artist name. And I'm really excited about that, and excited to be performing with her.
Yeah, I would like to see you guys perform together at some point. I need to catch a show.
Yeah.
I think it would be too much joy. I don't think my heart could take that much happiness. As Derek will tell you, I've been in a very angry place lately.
She really has. Hopefully, by the time this airs, it will have dissipated.
God, I
I'm
hope
just
so.
kidding. That's never going to happen.
Shut up.
This is just who she is. She's cranky.
It's true. I've been real cranky lately.
Now, Tom, you started doing a podcast with us,
Yes.
this Perfect Date podcast. So for people
Yeah.
who have not listened to it, tell us a bit about what the hook is. Just jump right to the bridge.
This is the most amazing podcast to me, because I feel like in the pandemic we spent a lot of time self-reflecting, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that we had to learn during the pandemic is like, what makes us happy when everything else disappears? We don't have a job. We don't have friends. We don't have a family. We have nobody else telling us we're worthwhile. We have to start telling it to ourselves.
Wow,
Right?
it's very upsetting how you just described my life. But anyway, yes. So upsetting.
It's
You had me the whole time.
barely.
You lucky
Okay.
thing,
That's
you.
true. But you were cranky.
I've been
That's
very
right.
cranky.
Yeah.
That's all I have. One cranky old woman.
Yep.
My husband's real
Myself.
cranky too, so I totally get it. You're like, "Meh." But yeah. So the great thing about the podcast is it's very simple. You're just describing your most perfect date, and I'm really curious about what people's most perfect date is when they're in a vacuum. We think like, if you ask somebody, hey, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go to dinner? You'll be like, well, I don't really care, whatever you want. And then you'll do this like back and forth of whatever you want. Nobody's really saying what they really want. And this is an opportunity to really say what you want and actualize your literal romantic dreams. So it's really great.
Now, how many of your guests have said that the perfect date is April 25th?
Nobody.
What? That is outrageous.
Yeah, what's that from?
That is from
Miss Congeniality.
Miss
Congeniality.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I did have the cool thing about it is I had this guy. It was like I was editing his podcast and crying because I was like, "There's these people when you stop." When you take the world away and you just ask them what they want, they become very vulnerable. And I was just crying at the end of it. I was like texting him like, oh shit, man, you got me. This is so beautiful. And he texted me back and he was like, hey, I went on my date. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, because I vocalized it, because I actualized it, it made me realize exactly what I wanted. And then I just created it for myself. And I was like, that's exactly what I want this podcast to be.
I want to hear the follow-up podcast to that.
I do too. I need to get him back on. I need to get him back on.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear about that date. Was
Yeah,
was
me
it
too.
perfect?
He said he had a wonderful time, but I haven't talked to him. I don't live in the same city as him. So next time I'm up in, he's from Oakland. Next time I'm up in Oakland, I'm going to interview him.
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really excited.
That's kind of cool. Now, I know that in the podcast, Perfect Date, that you tell people, hey, if you actually want to go on a date with this person, you can. Has anyone gone on a date?
No, not yet.
That to me is surprising.
That is upsetting.
I've had it. But that's what I think so it's interesting because so essentially everybody gets a hashtag. It's anonymous. I think people are a little intimidated by it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But as it continues to grow, people will get it, right? And nobody has done it, but this guy took himself on his own date. And I think that's going to happen just as much, if not more, than the other person taking them on the date, because now they're like, and it's people reveal themselves in the most interesting ways. I was interviewing this guy in Florida, and he was saying like, and I was like, oh, well then we'll go have lunch. And I always am like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I want to know specifics. Like, what does that mean? Where would you go? And he was like, no, whatever's fine. Like, that's not really what he's thinking. And then when you push him, he's like, I'm a vegetarian, and it would be really nice if we went to a vegetarian restaurant, and it would be really nice if this person didn't mind that we were going into a vegetarian restaurant. And I was like, that's it. That's what it is right there. That's what he wanted to say the whole time,
Right.
but that's what he couldn't say because he lives in fucking bumfuck Florida, and probably goes on a date, and people are like, you don't want to go to the chicken shack, And it's like, it's amazing when people actually are like, this is what I want, and all of the walls came down in that moment, and you saw that person.
Why do you think it is that people have such a hard time saying what it is that they want, especially in like a dating scenario or
Because
something
they don't
like
want to be. They don't want to be judged. Like when we are kids, we do whatever we want.
that? Right.
We see a ball, we run towards that ball like a puppy, right? And then we get older and we realize like, oh, some things aren't cool to do. Oh, some ideas aren't lauded. Some ideas aren't celebrated. This is the kind of person that I have to be. If my interests or desires fall outside of that, then I'm going to face judgment from somewhere.
Right.
And so we start censoring ourselves in all of our decisions, even with our partners, right? There's a million times we're like, what do you want to do for dinner? Whatever you want, sweetie. Okay, let's get sushi. I don't want sushi. Let's get pizza. I don't want pizza. Okay, just tell me what the fuck you wanted. Like we could have started this story by right? Am I wrong?
This happens to me all the time. I literally say to my wife, you need to decide what we want to have for dinner. And she's like, why? Why can't you decide? I'm like, because if I decide, you will say no to 5 of the options I give you.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are the picky eater here. You must decide.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be conflict. Wouldn't it be great if we were just like in touch with the things that we wanted and we were able to vocalize them in healthy ways?
Yeah. But this is why, like, we do a lot of group travel and everything, and I deal with a lot of couples and their BS. And, well, look, first of all, anybody who's ever had a 3-way, you know that you're not having sex with 2 people. You're getting in the middle of whatever's going on with those 2 people.
Sure.
So, the perfect 3-way is one in which whatever their relationship shit is does not get in the middle of it.
Of
but
course.
invariably, the longer you stick around, the more you're going to get some insight into the 2 of them as a couple and their dynamic. But anyway, so I'm not really in a 3-way with people, but I'm booking couples and travel. And you learn a lot about people. And the thing that I have learned is that in most relationships, there is a decider and a dreamer. And I only am interested in talking to the decider because the dreamer is just going to waste my time. And the decider is the one who's actually going to say, okay, we're doing this. We're going.
So you need to
we'll
talk
put in
to
the
me.
money.
Can I make fun of my husband for a second?
Because he's the dreamer and you're the decider.
Well, he is incapable of making decisions. And let me tell you how he books a hotel room, right?
God.
So we're going somewhere 6 weeks in advance. He'll go on booking.com, spend, I'm not kidding you, 10 hours reading reviews, looking at stuff, and then he will book 4 to 6 hotel rooms.
What?
For that same time period.
No.
Listen, it gets crazier. Then over the course of the next 5 weeks, he will go back an hour a day and look and reread them and think about it and go back. And maybe he'll narrow 6 to 5, but probably he won't narrow it all. Then he'll ask me, and I'll just be like, that one. Just do that one. And then he'll be like, no, but we need to talk about it for 2 hours.
Why?
No.
I don't know. And then he will, 24 hours before, cancel all of them except for one. Because it's like something in, like he's just like holding them all so that he never has, this is my husband.
Oh my God.
That would drive me insane.
He's disrupting
Of
the
course.
time stream.
He is.
This is why we're in an alternate reality. Your husband.
My
is
husband. It's
Booking
his
too
fault.
many hotel rooms.
It's his fault.
Does he know that this is crazy?
I mean, I have told him.
But like you travel all the time, so you
Yeah.
know efficiency.
Yeah.
You pick
Right.
a plane. You gotta
I've got
pick
the-
it. Get out of the way.
I've got the
Move
plane and the
next thing.
hotel
Yeah.
and the transportation. It's been like 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Done. Moving on.
Yes.
I can't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Now because I plan most of our travel, almost virtually all of it, and I do a lot of musing out loud to Romaine.
Oh, yeah, he
but
does.
mostly I'm just like I'll get like a feeling about it, like oh I have a good feeling because
Yeah.
when I have to pick a cruise, like a destination, a ship, a time of year, everything else, it's like you hope you pick the right one that
Yeah,
other people
course.
are going to like and want to do, right? So I'll get like a feeling. I'm like, I'm feeling this. This is what I'm feeling. And I'll like talk to Romaine because sometimes your feeling is crazy.
Yeah.
And then sometimes your feeling is like, oh no, that sounds good. Like I just had an idea for we're going to Europe next year. And our cruise is over Halloween. It's not specifically a Halloween cruise, but it's 10 days and then
Sure.
eventually it's over Halloween. And I was like, well, you know what? We're flying to Europe. We're already going to have to worry about what we're packing and everything else, blah, blah, blah. We're going to be in Rome. And I thought, oh my God, we should just do a masquerade party. Just masks.
Yeah.
Because it'll be really easy. We can give everybody a mask and it won't take up a lot of space in their bag, whatever. And Romaine's like, I love this idea. This is great. So like, as you know, when inspiration strikes, you're like, this is it. This
Yeah.
is the one.
Yeah.
You know it when you feel it. But frequently it's like, oh, I got to have a feeling. Maybe your husband just never has like, he can't tap
No.
into the feeling about the hotel.
He
Like,
has
this is the
too
one. This is
many
the
feelings.
hotel.
He has all the feelings and all the anxieties. It's like coming from all of the places at once. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's just so good that I'm such a patient and loving husband.
Obviously,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
the key here.
Yeah.
But I guess you just have to do a lot of deciding.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now, since you ask other people about their perfect date, I guess we should ask you about your perfect date.
So I have an entire perfect date episode, which is wonderful, and you could get it on the DNR Plus app.
Yep.
And you could do that. But what I described was really interesting because you don't actually know where you're going to get. But for some reason, I was in the Midwest. I think it was in Wisconsin on a lake, and I went and I played soccer. Soccer was a big part of it. So I played soccer for a couple hours, just running around. Like in the fall, like the air is really crisp and everything's really green and blue. And it's just such a perfect time to be outside. Like everything feels really fresh. So we played soccer for a couple hours. Then we went to eat like a really healthy place, something that had really good juice, something like a really great protein shake, some like quinoa, like it's like good protein, good vegetables, feeling like refreshed after that. And then we went to a Korean spa. Now, there's no Korean spas, I'm sure, in the middle of Wisconsin on a lake. But in my reality, there is. So
I love that.
we went to the Korean spa. And I think at that point in time, we took a little bit of an edible, right? So we were like really chilling down from the high energy day. And then we got really clean because we're at the spa for a couple hours. And then we went home and did a lot of lovemaking. Oh, and the other great thing that I did, I really like food. So it's funny because on my podcast, I'm often awkwardly asking people about food. I'm like, what are you eating? Are you getting dessert? And they're like, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, it does matter.
It does matter.
It's like the most important thing.
Yes.
So one of the things that then we do, as I said, because by the time we get home from the Korean spa, like the edibles kind of kicked in and we're a little like just enjoying our life. I have Uber Eats a very delicious dessert. So you know how you get to the point where you're like, oh, I wish I had something sweet, like when you had an edible. Like as soon as you have that thought, the doorbell rings, is like ding dong, and then this person shows up with like these cookies, and you're like, thank fucking God, and then you go back to making love. That was my date, but I am much more explicit in the episode.
Okay.
That sounds like a pretty great date.
It's a great day. I want to go on it real bad. Yeah.
But I agree with you about the food being important because, coming back to the guy on the, who wanted to go and have like a vegan meal and like didn't want to express that out loud. Romaine and I travel together a lot and we joke all the time about being work married. But the secret to our work marriage is that we like the same food at the same time.
Yeah.
And I can't, that is, as far as I'm concerned, I think that might be 90% of the success of a relationship is wanting the same food at the same time. Like, I can't, because like if you're traveling and you want two different things, it's horrible. If you have kids and you two want two different things, forget it.
Well,
Your life is an absolute nightmare all the time.
If you're picky and all you'll eat is French fries, it's like, I don't even want to be friends with that person.
Right, exactly. So I just think that this is the key. It saves your life all the time. If both of you are like, hey, you know what would be great right now? Taco Bell. You bet. That sounds great. Done. Boom.
Yeah.
Your life is made.
Yeah.
So I agree. The food thing is super important.
It is.
But this is also why, like on a first date, you could tell right away if this is, you could look deep into the future because that first meal is going to tell you a lot about your compatibility.
On our first date, it's funny because Mike will make fun of me. On our first date, he was like, he met me at the subway stop in DC. And I was like, okay, where are we going to go? He's like, oh, well, there's this burger place over there. And I was like, no. I was like, I'm not going to have hamburgers. Like, that doesn't feel fun to me. And then he was like, well, what about this Mediterranean place? I was like, great. And then as soon as I got in there, I ordered the octopus, like appetizer,
right,
just to see if he would be like, okay. You know, I don't want to be somebody that's only going to eat hamburgers. Like, that would never work for me. So I 100% agree.
Yeah.
But so it's interesting. So with my wife, she is very vanilla in life. Like, she's just a vanilla person. But I have forced her out of her vanilla box when it comes to eating. I'm like, no, you have to try Indian food. No, you have to try Korean food. No, you have to try Thai food. Like, I make her try all these things. And at first she resists. She's like, I don't want to do it. And then she eats it. She's like, oh my God, why did I never have this before?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like I have forced her to be a more open-minded person.
You have to be. I mean, it's funny. My friends who are resistant literally get mad and yell at me. I don't want to. Like you push me too much. But it's also like, and I understand being comfortable. Being comfortable is nice. But how are you going to imbue this world if you are not stepping outside of your comfort zone?
Right.
Like, that is the whole point of us being here. I don't know. That's my perspective.
Well, and you know, I do wonder, I feel bad for younger people in one way because this idea of comfort, like a very comfortable life, is a middle-aged to old age idea. You know, as you get into your life, you know what you want. You have been able to build a life for yourself that suits you. And it's why, you know, as time goes on, you disappear from public view. Like, you're into the thing you're into. And then once you find it, you're like, yep, I've tried a lot of different things. I found the thing I like, and this is what I want now, right? But so much of our world now is built around constant comfort and exactly what you want that, like, young people are rarely presented with an opportunity to actually be forced to try lots of new things and then winnow down over time what it is that they like. Now it's like, well, I'm always in sweatpants and I eat exactly the same thing because I'm getting an ad for exactly what I want because I thought about a salad and now Facebook is serving me an ad for salad. Like, they're not ever presented with opportunities to have lots of different choices and experiences. And so, you know, I think it makes it harder to know what you truly want if you are starting already in a place of just very limited options.
That's a really interesting perspective. I've never thought of it like that, but I also think that might be a New York perspective. Like, I think most of the world doesn't have that at their fingertips.
Well, no, I mean, right. If you live in a small town,
yeah,
you are limited in your options.
Yeah.
Like, there's the one diner, there's whatever.
Steakhouse, the steakhouse, the Chinese food place that's not even real Chinese food, and the steakhouse. Like, that's what I grew up. Those were your options.
Did you have those, what are those? The oysters, shit, what are they called?
Are you thinking about Rocky Mountain oysters?
Rocky Mountain oysters. Did you have Rocky Mountain oysters?
I have.
Yeah. Because that's where I had them in Cheyenne. Mm-hmm. Like, we were like, oh, Rocky Mountain oysters are on this menu. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've eaten a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
Because I did grow up. Like, I've eaten a lot of, like, game. Yeah. Like, you know, like, whether it's pheasants or deer, elk, or my dad hunted a lot. So we ate a lot of weird shit growing up.
Yeah.
But, you know, what I loved about coming to, like, places like Washington, D.C. and New York City is it really did open up all of these possibilities for food. And I'm so glad I did, because like when we traveled to the Mediterranean a couple of years ago, I was so open to trying like there were pizzas in Italy that I had never ever even, I was like, I would never put pistachios on a pizza with potato.
Yeah.
And I ate it. It was fucking amazing. And I was like, why don't we have this in the US? Like, but I wouldn't have tried it otherwise because I would have been scared. And I do think that, you know, you need those opportunities. You need to be able to explore that.
Can I tell you what we don't have in America that we should? I should not say this online because we should make millions of dollars.
I give away $1 million ideas on my show all the time. So knock yourself out.
Halloumi. Halloumi does
what's
not.
that?
Halloumi is a cheese they have all over Europe. You fry it. You just like straight up pan fry it, and it is like unbelievable. And I never ever see it on a menu here. And I feel like if we just became the halloumi importers of America, we would be billionaires. I don't know why.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Anyways. Somebody's
maybe you
gonna
should do that.
Can I just get can somebody else? Can one of the listeners do it?
Can you just want it to happen?
And then just give like a little rev share.
Yeah,
to you for the
I'll just
idea.
take 5%. I'll just take 5%.
That's smart.
That's it. That's all I
Yeah.
want. Thank you. Send the contract my way.
I've never had this, and now I want to travel abroad and have this.
Oh, when you do your Europe tour, get some halloumi.
Okay.
Your life will be changed.
Really?
Yeah, it's that good.
I mean, probably the reason is that it is not like a brand like Nutella, which was a popular European brand that finally they imported into the U.S. and now, you know, some Americans will have Nutella, but it's not like it is in Europe where they have that instead of peanut butter. Like it is, that's what they have. That's their spread, their sandwiches, toast, like everywhere, versus here where that's what the space of the peanut butter is. So I think the problem is that there might not be like a brand that's like, okay, we're going to spend millions of dollars. We're going to break into the U.S. market, or a U.S. company that's like, we need to introduce something new and fresh and different. Because as it is right now, it really is what other flavor can we jam into an Oreo? Like they're not like what's passing as food science now is pumpkin spice Oreo. Like they're not. They're really just trying a flavor into something you already know.
I mean,
and that's it.
fried cheese sounds delicious.
Well, we love fried cheese. Like
and you don't have to bread it. You just fry it.
Yeah. Somebody needs to bring it to like the Iowa State Fair or something. One of these situations where you know people are coming for fried cheese and have a different kind of fried cheese. And then that is where it could take off. But if there's no corporation behind it, it makes it very hard to get that kind of thing.
I have an idea. An idea. So we bring the halloumi, and then we go to Costco. You know how they give out the free samples?
Oh, yeah.
But we don't actually work for Costco. We just
you just walk around with some cheese under your arm.
We just set up a Costco station as if it's at Costco, and then people start demanding it from Costco. And Costco is the biggest buyer of food in the world,
right?
And then Costco will have to be like, "Oh, what is this DNR&T halloumi cheese?" You know what I mean? It's like, and we'll be like, "Oh," and we'll just be sitting here, and we'll be like, "That's us. Write us a check.
We'll send you some halloumi."
You know who should get into this?
Who?
The Beekmans.
Yeah, they make cheese.
They do. Because you also need some kind of infrastructure. I read this article in the Times recently about this woman that makes this special kind of old-timey butter. And it has to be churned a particular way. It has to have special cows, and the cows can't be in temperatures colder than 40 degrees. So there's some hot nonsense about it, but they have to have special cows on a special kind of a farm, and they have to be like rubbed 3 times in the morning. Like there's a whole thing, but it makes this special kind of butter that doesn't taste like any other butter. And they sell it to super high-end restaurants in New York because, of course, it's like $1,000 a pound.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But it's a very specific butter. But she's like, I'm retiring and I don't want to do this anymore, but I am going to pass this psychotically niche butter business on to this young couple that have a dairy farm. And she like had to say goodbye to her personal cows. Like it was a whole thing.
Oh, wow.
But I feel like, you know, if you're going to make something this specialized, it's exactly this kind of thing. You have to find somebody who's going to have just the right cows on just the right farm, who knows how to make cheese, who's going to commit to making this specific kind of cheese, and then places that will be willing to buy it and whatever else. So this is where I think the Beekmans are the way to go, because they have...
We tell them we want some halloumi.
Yeah, they have a whole thing.
I've never even had it, and I want it.
But this sounds like exactly
good.
their kind of thing. And then Martha Stewart will tweet about it, and then it'll explode.
Great.
Yeah, I think this is the answer. The Beekmans. I have solved your $1 million cheese
Tom
idea.
Goss is the answer.
Look, I love cheese, so I am pro cheese. I have a pro cheese agenda.
Absolutely.
I love all kinds of cheese.
Yep.
I am not picky about cheese. Like whatever the cheese is,
I like
I'm
a
here
lot of
for
kinds.
it. Yeah.
You've got my vote.
Yeah. I like a fried cheese. I like a stinky, crumbly cheese. I like any cheese, a block of cheese, like give me like a Colby, give me a mozzarella. I'm here for all of it.
I want to hear when you guys do your European cruise. I want the update on halloumi.
I will update. Now I want it.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have to seek it out.
Yep.
We'll have to have some kind of excursion.
A halloumi excursion.
Yes.
I like that.
Specific.
Go find halloumi. Sounds like you're going to look for a Pokemon.
It really does. It seems like a lot. All right. Well, Tom, this has been delightful.
Thank you.
This has almost been our perfect date.
It has. Oh my God. We kind of created our own perfect date, which is going to a farm, meeting some cows, eating some halloumi. It sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Let's do it.
That's a good date.
Yeah,
That
it's a
would
good
not
date.
be my perfect date because it would be outside. But
Get
don't
you
roll
an
your eyes
umbrella.
at me. Yeah, I know. I have,
But your
Fire.
perfect date, you can choose the weather. It can be the perfect weather.
okay, but I if there's sun, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I don't do well in the
overcast.
sun.
It's overcast.
That's a little overcast. Perfect.
Overcast is where I burn the worst.
Oh, God.
Because I think I'm not burning, and then I burn to a crisp. I'm delicate.
He's a vampire.
I
Okay,
am.
okay.
My people are from a very gloomy part of Eastern Europe. We're not meant to be in the sun.
Okay.
But this has been perfect because we've been inside the whole time,
Yeah,
so
we
I have not
have.
gotten a burn.
There's not been a single ray of sunlight.
No, certainly not emanating from Romaine because
Just
she's so dour and gloomy.
Shut up. You don't know.
Okay, well, happy fall, everybody. Tom Goss, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Folks should go and see him. He'll be in Scotland and Fort Lauderdale, Florida on October 15th and November 4th in Hollywood, California. He has Tom Goss Music on the web, tomgossmusic.com, Tom Goss Music on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, Perfect Date, Mondays on your DNR Cast app. Use discount code LOVE to try it for free
Great.
anytime you want.
Can't get enough of the show? Follow them on Twitter at DNR Show or like them on Facebook.
And don't forget to tell your friends to subscribe to DNR 2.0 at DerekandRomaine.com.